WWE announced a new major pay-per-view. Plus, has another promotion reached out to CM Punk? And is the TNA SixSided Ring returning? It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Hot off the press, this one. WWE are going international once again. Where are they going next year, Jack?
Ich bin ein Berliner, Tom. They're heading to Berlin.
You're a donut.
Yeah, that's right. They announced that this afternoon, in fact, on their official Twitter account, saying, breaking, WWE Bash in Berlin. The first ever major WWE premium live event to be held in Germany will emanate from the MB Arena Berlin on Saturday, August 31st, 2024. And then there's details for like pre-sale on that tweet and everything. So it's quite exciting. Exciting
times to see WWE making their way to Germany for the first. I obviously they've done house shows in there, and but this is the biggest WWE show they've done in that part of Europe.
I'm really enjoying it seems to be very much a Triple H led thing. I'm enjoying their continued commitment to holding pay-per-views or PLEs in locations that have never had them before or that rarely get them, because it lends such a unique energy to each one. Like we saw at Backlash this year in Puerto Rico, it was an amazing event. Money in the Bank in London. Obviously, there's been pay-per-views in London before, but it was very much a unique feeling there as well. And I like that they're continuing to try and give each premium live event, even the B ones, even not the big four, its own distinct, unique flavor, and oftentimes that seems to be based upon location. So I'm very excited for this.
Now, obviously, he's from Austria, but did WWE lean in to the Gunter effect here and have him at the top of the show?
Surely they should. Yes, I think
Gunter Roman.
Yeah,
you cowards.
Yeah, if Roman is, or even if Roman's not still the champion by this point. I mean, he's obviously got to get through WrestleMania, where many people think he will drop the belt finally, but the story never ends, so we don't know. But if Roman still has the belt, or even if he doesn't, I think that would be an awesome main event for Bash in Berlin, but I think they could go multiple directions here.
August 31st, 2024. We'll keep you up to date with that one throughout the rest of this year and closer to it. It's going to be a gorgeous summer in Berlin for WWE fans. Meanwhile, are we looking at an interesting 2024 for CM Punk? He's done with AEW. He popped up backstage at Impact tapings in Chicago, and there is another company that have shown a bit of interest in CM Punk flavored goodness.
It's the NWA, because Billy Corgan was talking to Andrew Zarian of Mat Men and was very open and very candid about this, saying, many people behind the scenes have asked me, should we make a play for Punk? Have you reached out to Punk? And he said, the answer in terms of reaching out is no, but I respect him a lot. He deserves top money. He's a top star. That sounds almost self-defeating. You're almost admitting that you wouldn't want him. No, trust me. And then Corgan basically reaches out to CM Punk via this interview. He says the NWA would go hand over fist to have Phil walk through the door and be part of the NWA, even for just a pay-per-view. What I would say to Phil is he would have a lot of fun in the NWA. I think Phil the person loves professional wrestling. He's had his public confrontation, and I'm very similar. This is Billy Corgan, not myself. I got sued by a record company for $150 million. It's certainly not. I eventually made a deal with them and continued working for them. I've had massive battles behind the scenes with every segment of the record and touring business, some of which aren't public. I have a reputation in rock and roll behind the scenes. If Phil the person has that sort of reputation with whoever, he doesn't have it with me, because I feel I understand where he's coming from.
But enough about me, says Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Phil. I think what he does in this interview with Andrew Zarian and Mat Men is that Billy Corgan puts the emphasis on having fun in the NWA and having fun in wrestling, saying, look, I can't pay you the money that you earn, that you're worth, but I can give you some fun. Come and have a bit of fun. I feel like a lot of companies are sort of using the idea of enjoying your work as leverage to bring Punk in. Impact did that, saying, go on, have a laugh in the ring. Go on, pop out and say hello.
Yeah.
And now NWA are going, hey, come on over, because Punk wants to have fun in wrestling again. So a lot of people are using that as an intriguing bit of leverage.
And I think that it's clever because they know they can't match up financially with WWE, so why not go a different route? And especially knowing his history with WWE, where he was infamously unhappy before towards the end of his run there.
Talking of signings, let's talk about one happening at Impact Wrestling. So we have been been talking about how PCO was winding down his Impact Wrestling run over the last couple of weeks. He hadn't come to terms on a new contract with Impact Wrestling, and Bound for Glory this past weekend was set to be his swan song, which I was surprised to see that he won the Monsters Ball match. So I thought, well, maybe, you know what? It's Pierre Carloulet. Give him a win on the way out. He doesn't, that's lovely. Let's do that. However, not the case at all. What's been happening?
This is via the official Impact Wrestling website, or TNA as it will soon be known once again. They announced that PCO had re-signed with Impact Wrestling. He said, this is a quote from PCO, but I don't know. It's quite comically placed underneath a photo of PCO crushing Scott D'Amore's hand and Scott D'Amore writhing in pain. But the quote says, I really wanted to be part of this new era of TNA wrestling, and Scott D'Amore made me an offer I could not refuse. I think I'm glad on one hand, but I always just worry a bit about PCO when I'm watching him. But he seems all right.
He somehow keeps on keeping on.
Somehow.
This isn't, in fact, like an Impact Wrestling re-signing. The way that they are selling this is the first TNA wrestling signing.
Got you.
All the branding around the press release is that PCO has signed with TNA. So his Impact Wrestling contract has ended. He has signed a new deal with TNA Wrestling. And I think this is going to be the business going forward, whereby anybody that they now sign to new deals signs with TNA Wrestling.
Right.
So the good times are coming back. Total non-stop action returns as part of Hard to Kill next year. Ironically, Hard to Kill is where the TNA name returns,
yes.
Which is a beautiful allegory for the company as a whole. And with that comes lots of ideas about how this new company will look. And one that keeps on coming back, one idea is the idea of changing the ring from 4 sides to 6 sides. The 6-sided ring, a big part of TNA's history. Scott D'Amore sat down to chat during a Q&A with Tom Hannafin, and the 6-sided ring was addressed. The 6-sided elephant in the room was addressed.
He even says the 6-sided ring question comes up all the time. I get it. I was in the ring when the 6-sided ring was brought in. I know it has its supporters. The fact is, at the end of the day, almost to a person, the athletes that have performed in the 6-sided ring don't prefer it. They say it's harder on the body, creates more injury, and more than injury, it creates more wear and tear on the body. Doing it night after night is harder on the body. He says, we're happy to have conversations about how to make the product look the best, but one of the things unwaveringly that we're not willing to negotiate on or compromise is the athlete's health and safety. We're going to be a 4-sided ring. I know that disappoints a lot of people, but my respectful and honest question to you is, do you really love the 6-sided ring more than you love ensuring the health and safety of the men and women who get in the ring and put their health on the line?
I want the 6-sided ring.
He goes on to say, do you want to make a more dangerous situation for them? It's wrestling. Never say never. There could be changes in the future, but it's a simple one for us. Athlete safety is number one, so we have 4 sides. Take that off the table, and anything else is possible.
Jordan Grace echoes this sentiment as well when a fan was asked about bringing back the 6-sided ring, and saying, if it's not a 6-sided ring, is it really TNA? Jordan Grace responds saying, do you all want us to have long careers or a 6-sided ring? We want a 6-sided ring, Jordan. No, I'm joking.
She was asked by another fan to clarify. The fan was very honest, said, we don't really understand why is a 6-sided ring so much worse. And she said, the way it's built makes it harder, more like a boxing ring, I believe. I'd definitely love to do it occasionally, but full-time would be detrimental. However, a third fan then popped up and suggested that maybe they could be like an annual 6-sided ring sort of pay-per-view or something like that, to which she responded affirmatively. She went, oh, let's like 6 sides of steel flame emoji.
Yeah. Do it as like a special occasion type thing.
Yeah, but from what she said there and from what Scott D'Amore explained in that interview with Tom Hannafin, it's more the accumulative wear and tear of bumping every night in that 6-sided ring. I have experience bumping in a boxing ring.
Oh, do you?
And if it makes it feel more like a boxing ring, then no way. Because I was practicing taking a spear on a boxing ring. Probably took like 3 or 4. And the next morning I was like, oh, is this what being a wrestler's like? And that was, it's noticeably not, I'm not saying that wrestling rings are a cakewalk either, infamously, but the boxing ring was noticeably more sturdy, yeah.
I'd be intrigued to know as well from wrestlers in terms of how they received going into a six-sided ring from working indies to doing like a day at the old TNA. Like, because obviously a big part of wrestling is muscle memory. And like, you know, you kind of go through certain motions at certain times. When you're in a six-sided ring, you can't really think like that because you've got to twist a little bit the way you think. Maybe. I don't know. I'd be intrigued to know if that was, if anybody was ever put off working for TNA back in the day because of the six-sided ring.
I thought you were Curry Man. And I'm glad that you've kept your identity a secret there.
Who knows, eh? Who knows?
Or Shark Boy. Well, one of the two.
Could be any of them. I might be Lava Girl. Impact Wrestling is in Newcastle on Friday. Turning Point comes to the Walker Dome tuning point, as I've started calling it. But the night before, they're taping Impact at Glasgow. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're going to the Glasgow show, you're getting a TV taping as well. We're getting Turning Point the following day in Newcastle. That's where I hop on the tour as your ring announcer. Look forward to seeing you there. And then 2 fantastic nights in Coventry, all part of the UK Invasion Tour. Come see us and get your ticket to impactwrestling.com. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.